Hi, Dominique here with Your Home Imagine, talking about the California Tenant Protection Act of 2019. Let's break down the second half of AB 1482, how to terminate a tenant. In California, if you are not exempt from AB 1482, then you are prohibited from terminating a tenant without just cause. This doesn't matter if you're wanting to evict a tenant or just choosing not to renew a lease. As long as the tenant has been in place for at least 12 months, you must have just cause to ask them to vacate. In this video, I will go over notification timelines. What is the difference between at fault just cause or no fault just cause? Please remember, I'm not a lawyer and this is not legal advice. It is only to make you aware of the bill and that you may want to discuss this with your attorney. Before we dive into this, let's recap on who this applies to. If you have 2 or more units, including ADUs, that are more than 15 years old, or if you have a single family home that is owned by a corporation, then this applies to you. In California, if you're asking a tenant to vacate a property, AB 1482 has defined rules that you must follow. The owner must show and notify just cause, either at fault or no fault just cause to ask a tenant to leave. With an at fault just cause, then the owner must file a 3-day notice to cure, explaining exactly what the violation is and what is expected to fix it. The owner must allow the tenant time to fix the problem before they can move forward with a 3-day notice to vacate. If the tenant does not fix the issue within the time period, then the owner may evict them with a 3-day notice to vacate with no more time allowed to cure the problem. Now it's time to move out. Examples of an at-fault just cause include default payment of rent, a breach of rules in the lease, a nuisance, either by noise, smell, or unsightly properties, using the premises for an unlawful purpose, if the tenant has refused to execute a written extension or renewal of lease, criminal activity on the premises or a criminal threat to the owner, assigning or subletting a premises in violation of the tenant's lease, the tenant's refusal to allow the owner to enter the residence for inspection, or when the tenant fails to move out when the tenant has given notice. With a no-fault just cause, an owner must give a 60-day notice. You must offer the tenants either relocation assistance or waive 1 month's rent. It is your choice of which one. The 60-day notice must include the tenant's rights, which option you choose, and the exact amount of compensation you will be giving. If the tenant fails to vacate after the expiration of the notice of termination, then any assistance that was provided is considered recoverable as damages in the action to recover the possession of the property. If the owner does not provide relocation assistance, then the notice of termination is considered null and void, and the tenant gets to remain in the property. Examples of no-fault cause are when the owner or owner's direct family is going to occupy the property. Now, if the lease is signed after July 1st of 2020, then the tenant needs to have previously agreed in writing for this termination to be allowed. Withdrawal of property from the rental market. Example is if you're going to put it up for sale. Or a government agency or court order or local ordinance require vacating. Now, if the tenant is at fault for this order, then no assistance needs to be given. If you're intended to demolish or substantially remodel a residence, this is considered just cause. Now, substantial remodel means the replacement or modification of anything structural, electrical, plumbing, or mechanical systems that require a permit and requires the tenant to be vacant for more than 30 days. Do not think that a paint and carpet are going to be considered just cause. If you do not follow the disclosure laws, then your request to vacate is considered null and void, and the tenant is allowed to remain in the property. If you find any of these helpful, please subscribe and leave a comment on any future topics you'd like to hear. You can find a link of AB 1482 in its entirety in the description. May your cash flow always be positive. Thank you for watching.